It's kind of windy tonight. Boy, it's just the wind's going crazy. Well, not like, gust of wind. It's gust of wind and stuff, but just wind that's kind of going, blow trees down right now. It just maybe blow limbs, but, not too bad. Whatever limbs are on the trees, it's blowing them off. But anyway, I'm just getting on here. Kind of wonder what this is. It's a magnolia tree limb. But, oh, okay, yeah, that magnolia tree over there, that makes sense. And the leaves are gathered up around it. Anyway, thought I'd come on here and make this video. Woo! Talking about being a Sora Dad. What's a Sora Dad? Sora Dad is, in my point of view, is to where I have been making, see if somebody wants to chat here. Top messages, all messages. Saw somebody peek in there. So you go to Sora and you make characters and things, and you can put them like in little skits or whatever. Kind of. I've seen some people kind of take a character and somehow or another they can describe them just right or something. And they can make those characters look just like a family member, or they did something other that I don't know what they did. Unless they had a pro or whatever. Pro's like $200 a month. But there's a thing that hasn't rolled out yet that is it's something called a pro. You can get the in most cases you got like 10 or 15 second videos. I got 15 seconds, but there's a thing that rolls out. If it rolls out, and it depends on where it is, you can do 25-second videos. And you can put a little prompt in there, and AI kind of works it out for itself, or you can go into detail. And if you run out of the video generations, of course you have to buy more. That really sucks. I don't like that. But I've only done it a couple of times because I get hooked on the theme. I get hooked on something other I'm trying to make, and I want to get it just right. I'm very particular about the things I make. That's just the way I am. And I've done that with Grok, Super Grok, right, whatever you want to call it. The thing with Super Grok or Grok, whatever you want to call it, is you can do the same with that, but I think I'm not quite sure though. Is it? You can put a prompt in there and you can kind of make like a video or whatever, but it's slightly different than what you might do with ChatGPT, which is what Sora's about. Is Sora ChatGPT. OpenAI is the operating system. ChatGPT is what you use to get on there to the chat thing, and Sora is the one that they all work together. Hello, Hunter. Are you the Hunter that was at Waffle House? But anyway, it's pretty cool how that can all work out that way. You can just make these characters, and everything. And the good thing with these, I just found out yesterday, and I was uploading a bunch of pictures and stuff of my character Dacie Jones, who happens to be the granddaughter of Fred and Daphne on Scooby-Doo. Well, that's the way I created her to be, is the granddaughter. And of course she has a sister and a brother, a father, Freddie Jr., Freddie and Daphne's son. And it's like a third generation type of thing. And it's pretty cool because you can get on Sora and you can develop these characters just by sending in pictures. Like with me, I went ahead and just went for it. I just didn't want to, but I kind of just did it. I had the free app at first, and I found you can go a little further with it, and so I went and invested $20 and everything, and started developing Dacie a little bit more. And I had like I had 3 versions of her in total, but the first version that Sora gave me is the one I'm sticking with now, because when I look at it, all the generations of Gemini and Meta AI, they kind of didn't. Gemini is what I wanted her to be. She came out exactly the way I wanted it. And Meta AI is pretty close, but not quite. So I just had some of the descriptions in there about her being closely linked to Princess Diana as far as her hairstyle, and that she was related to Princess Diana through her mother, stuff like that, which is really all fictional, you know. But anyway, as I was putting the character in, it came up with it and everything. I looked at a few other ones, a few generations. This was a couple weeks ago. I said, wait a minute, I really like this one. Something struck at me about it. So I went ahead with that one, and then I eventually made 2 more, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna keep with her. So the one that Sora gave me is the one I got now. But what I wanted to do is blend the 2 together. That smudge. I wanted to blend the 2 together to get probably an amalgamation of what I thought Dacie might look like, with the help of Gemini and Sora or ChatGPT, whatever you want to call it, OpenAI. So it's pretty good so far, because what I've been doing is I've been uploading pictures of the art that I might have had on DeviantArt or something like that, or Gemini or Meta AI, whatever, the closest things to that. And I had ChatGPT take some of the pictures and kind of put on certain things that really matched up with her personality and style, and it's pretty good. I gotta say, it's pretty good, and I really like it. So I've been playing around for the last couple of weeks doing this, almost a couple of weeks, instead of making my regular videos and metal detecting and all that fun stuff. I think all last weekend while I was at work, I messed around with doing this and everything, and because it was when it was really cold, I couldn't really do a whole lot, and just was waiting on trucks to come in, and I'd sit there and wait, and nobody come. Get up to do a round, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so cold out here. One night I came out there, I wasn't prepared or nothing. I didn't have nothing underneath my britches and my work pants to kind of keep me warm. I had a coat and everything. I had my headphone, earmuffs, things, and that's like a theme for me, and that's the thing I developed in my character, to be wearing, earmuffs and stuff like that. I don't know, just something I kind of always got into. And Sora's picking at me. This AI gets on here, and it's like, oh, congratulations! Here's your Christmas present. A bunch of hearing protector earmuffs, and like this got me on, because you can take a picture of yourself and everything, and you do a certain thing, you twist your head a certain way, you count some numbers and everything, so it takes your personality, it takes you, and makes you the one of the main characters, if you want to be a character. So that's what I did. And so what it does now is that it'll take me for a Christmas thing, and it'll have me in a festive, ugly ass Christmas sweater. And I'm like, oh my gosh, and it's giving me stuff for Christmas and all of the theme like stuff it knows that I like. And AI is pretty weird like that because it picks up on those things, especially when you're putting in pictures of how to develop your character. I'm like, get me out of this sweater, get me out of this Yankee talk, change my accent to Southern, redneck style, not hillbilly, where I'm at now. So it finally did a little bit of that. I just got tired of seeing it. I got tired of me talking in such a monotone, unsouthernly way. That's just not who I am. And it's finally worked on that because I made a couple efforts in my renderings to do that. I'm like, hey, put me in a plain t-shirt, put me in blue jeans, stuff like that. Also too, as a lot of you know, if you ever watch my videos on here, or actually well, I don't know if I ever showed anybody on DeviantArt or even on here about my TikToks and stuff or whatever, vice versa. But anyway, I have made a lot of videos talking about my character. Well, I don't know if it's a lot. Dacie Jones. Again, she being the granddaughter of Fred and Daphne, by way of Freddie Jr., who does not exist in the Scooby-Doo canon. Not Canyon, but canon. Doesn't exist. Hanna-Barbera can make it so if they wanted to, which is owned by Warner Brothers. All they got to do is do it. I'd love to kind of say, hey, why don't you just use this one? I've developed it. I mean, I think she fits right in because I have her as a veteran, U.S. Army veteran. Then, of course, you got a sister. Both of them Gen Z, 97. By the time I have it as about the time that Princess Diana died and stuff. That's what I was kind of, in a way, basing her on. But then I try to bring up a story about Revolta in the Ghoul School to have her return in some way. And I thought, well, why not return to a new generation? So that came about with Dacie being a grandchild and stuff, kind of resembling Princess Diana in a way. And wow, it's windy. So that's how that started. The past April and May, I think it was, maybe June this past year, about 6 or 7, about June, no, about 6 or 7 months ago, half a year ago. So anyway, that all developed and made stories on it and stuff like that. I found that that's what I'd like to do. I like creating things. I like writing things. Even though if I don't know how good I should write things or how well I should create them, I still like writing about things. I like making things that are heartfelt. They really mean something, to other people. Trying to say people. I like making things like that. I like making characters who are kind, considerate, and it's really heartfelt, because along with Dacie on Sora, I also had Delilah, which is Delilah Daphne Jones, and she's Dacie's sister, named for her mother's middle name, named for her Daphne's name, And she looks just like Daphne, a young version of Daphne. So she's like, in a way, where Dacie might be carrying on Freddie's kind of blonde-headedness, and instead of her having an ascot like him, she has a furry collar bomber jacket, and she wears earmuffs over her ears instead of an ascot. So it would be nice to see if I can get it into like a Scooby-Doo type of version for her, for them to make them in the cartoons. But I have a lot of that on my DeviantArt account under Earmuff Guy 1, EERMUFFGUY1, in case anybody wants to see it. So it's just pretty neat though what you can do with this type of thing. And like I said, it's I got into a point where I took pictures and put the pictures in, and it's taking it from her looking to a certain way, just making her look look more like what I envisioned her to look like, because I got with AI on it, and sometimes AI would drive me, Gemini, Google Gemini, and it would drive me nuts. I'd sit there and argue with that thing, I'd fuss at that sucker. I said, no, that's not what I want, you damn stupid ass computer. I'd cuss it. And then it's like, okay, that's great. That's exactly what I wanted. 1 minute it give me what I want, and the next minute it wouldn't. So after 6 or 7 months, I'm not as harsh with Chat GPT, but Gemini and even Meta AI, I was. But I've also developed other characters, like on DeviantArt, based on another girl there who has an account. Her name is Jenny. Jen is Jenny like horror. Her account, and now what I did was I took her and made her into a character, into a kind of like a Batman type of story, where she's walking through a cemetery, go to find out she's related to Bruce Wayne, and she's walking to a cemetery or something or other, and she gets sprayed in the face with his acid stuff, and Batman kind of happened to be in the right place at the right time, realizes that's his cousin, and so wants to help her, brings her back to the manor, gets her going and everything, kind of gets her healed up, and she has an allergic reaction, breathing some of the acid, kind of burned the respiratory system up, and she's one of those girls that gets in the earmuffs too, and that's the way I kind of developed it and everything. It's kind of based on one person who likes all my stuff I put up there, and I like her stuff, and she just loves it. She likes the thing with the additions that I've made, and so anyway, thought about doing a story on that and everything. Well, nah, I'll wait on it. But that was sort of the first part of the year, and then it came to whenever I first got what was it? When I first got what was I trying to say? Whenever I first got I was let go. Actually, I didn't get back to work until like February. So the first part of the year, almost a year ago now, I kind of, whenever I didn't was looking for a job or whatever, or claiming unemployment, I kind of wrote characters, made characters, wrote and stuff, kind of writing stories. Not to say I'm a great author or anything like that, but I don't know, I just kind of like making stuff like that, and characters that are heartfelt, that are sensitive, that that you don't really see in the world a whole lot these days. And I have to say, they turned out pretty good. Because not only did I make Dacie and Delilah, of recent, I took a witch, the whole basis for a witch and her assistant, or she could be assistant, and made it into a person that's caring and concerned and witty and cheeky with a British accent. Of course, likes wearing earmuffs. And had her kind of dealing with everyday issues through Gen Z and Gen X too, as well as Gen Y, millennials, Alpha, and she just deals with certain things in a cheeky, witty, snazzy type of way. It's real fun. And what I did was I took the prompt from Grok and I put it in Sora, and it made it into kind of like, I was just wanting to see what it might look like with a witch kind of using Kevin out of here, her minions and everything, just to kind of see what it looked like. So I did that and had them in the little pod things where they would get converted into minions, headphones, type of furry headphones, or what have you. Then that developed from that to a woman, cheeky British woman, cheeky, to making her like this more modern type of witch. But I call her a British witch. But she's not a witch. She's a person who gets considered as a witch because of her unorthodox ways of helping Gen Z and millennials and other generations get out of that mind fog and that self-importance trip, and to help them become people that are more concerned about others than themselves, or so much of themselves, and to saying dumb and stupid things like, "Oh, that's so cringe." You're really creeping me out. You're so sus. And all this other stuff. All those kind of words that I hate. A Gen Xer. So, but instead of her acting like I would, she's a bit more kind of like, she's non-judgmental and doesn't let that kind of stuff bother her like I would. I guess what it is a outstretched thing of myself into a woman that doesn't get bothered by things like that. And that's kind of who I want to be as a person, and not let things bother me. And Dacie is the one who's kind of like a protective, nurturing. She's got a sister. Her mother died. And so she's a nurturer. She likes protecting. And, she gives that aura and feel that, hey, I've been through a lot of stuff and I'm still here. Nothing's put me down yet. And kind of lead her from a stoic type of lifestyle after her mother died to being a little bit more open with the feelings. Maybe not as much, but enough to let people know that she's not perfect, but she'll damn sure stand up for her family and do what's right. And the first time I put it on there, put that prompt on there for her, I put PI on the end of the thing there for sure, so that she's probably an investigator. And all it was at first is called detective. I'm like, no, there's a difference between being a detective and being a PI. And I'm sure in the state of California, which is pretty much where I'm basing her at, that's the difference too. That PIs can't arrest anybody. They can't, take you to jail, but I mean, they can cause you to go to jail, but they themselves can't do anything to make you go to jail. Put their hands on you, restrain you, detain you, arrest you, not unless the citizens arrest. And they have to, and they can't make nobody comply with you under citizens arrest. That's why it's always best to get law involved, whatever happens, whatever kind of accidents might happen. But anyway, that's the way it's kind of developed out. And I'm quite proud of it, really. So that's what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, just about, is making these new characters and stuff. Kind of investing my time trying to be creative and stuff. And I kind of fell in a way, I kind of backtracked from the Lord in a lot of ways too, because doing this and everything and making all these people, making these characters and stuff, kind of fleshed them out as I was trying to do in Grok. Because see, if you put this into Grok, that don't work. You just can't. I mean, you can take a picture and you develop it to what you want in a certain picture, and it makes the picture come alive for several seconds. But with ChatGPT, Sora, you put in information, you plug in information of what you want it to look like. You can even use images, videos, links, and it pretty much caters and develops that character to what you want it to look like. You give it information and character description, stuff like that. So it's pretty neat. I gotta say, it's pretty neat. And I'm trying to get to the 25-second one, but of course they haven't rolled it out in this area yet, or region, or however you'd say that. And I gotta use the bathroom. But anyway, I think it's pretty cool, to tell you the truth. But I kind of, at the same time too, I'm kind of very conscientious though about how much information ChatGPT or OpenAI gets, But I was just trying to stay focused on what I enjoy and like doing, and as far as that's concerned. Oh yeah, and the good thing is, I got a full-time hours coming up after the 5th. First weekend of the new year, I'll be working full-time hours. Yeah. Because that'll be good too, because I'll have bills to pay. I'll have insurance bills I got to pay a lot of money on. That'll be great. I got to do something real quick. I'm back. See, where am I going? Yep, okay. How to do a certain thing. But I gotta say, y'all, I'm pretty blessed. The Lord has really blessed me. I tell you though, I used to kind of complain about walking around the Amazon building a couple months ago. Whew, but this one, I think it's a little bit bigger. So basically what we got to do is walk around that thing, check the doors, and we got the lights we got to check, light poles and stuff. And I mean, it ain't no darn walk in the park, I tell you that. That's a couple of times where I kind of got cramps and stuff when I come home, you know, and go to sleep. My legs start cramping up on me, but it's not that bad. It's just pretty much making sure to get the kind of right information off the trucks and stuff. But like the handheld tablet we have, especially when you're cold and the wind's blowing on you and stuff, I don't know how in the world I'm going to deal with that, you know. And you got to be out there in the open. So I do want to try to get a scanner thing where you can just scan stuff. And I have to kind of go back to my memory of being out in the weather when I was younger at a fuel island, truck fuel island. And so I worked at Jerry's truck stop in Manning, South Carolina, I think for about a couple of years. I think I did, or was it a year or two? And I can't remember exactly. But I worked on a fuel island. I'd get the information off the trucks, and I'd send it in to the fuel desk. Some trucks I had to fuel up, and I would check the tires and stuff, make sure they didn't have no flat tires. If they did, I'd give them a referral. And each time I got a referral in there and they got the tire changed, and I get the $3 on my check for each referral. And I remember one time, I don't know what it was just, I got a bunch of them, about $30 or $40 worth. And I had a guy underneath me that I trained, he got about 10 of them, and I got 12. And yeah, so it was pretty cool, especially back there in the 90s, late 90s, 97, about what, 28 years ago, 27, 28 years ago. It doesn't seem that long, but I was trying to recall last night how many times I sit up there in that little booth. It had like a heater in it, just a little booth, and it had like a little heater in it and everything, and sit up there waiting for trucks. Had a chair leaning back against the shelf thing there. Sometime I'd get in, I was pretty young, so I was about like what, 25, 24, something like that, 25. I'd get on top of that little shelf thing, sit there. It would be so warm, instead of the heater blowing on me, I was underneath the heater. Yeah, so I mean, it was pretty cool. Those were some good times, good memories. My dad would come up there in the truck. First thing I do is see him, I get to fueling. I was like, that's my dad, I'll take care of my dad. I know all his information. Shoot him in there before you even walk the truck and fuel on. So I mean, that really, what I'm doing now is very similar to that. I still got a booth I'm in, but I got a computer. I got a heater, I got a refrigerator, I got a bathroom, I got all that stuff, you know, and all I got to do is walk around this big, long building, chew it about 3 or 4 times a night. Really, technically a little bit more than that, but, you know, I told the boss man, I said, look, I only had to walk around the building at Amazon one time. And that was enough. Like right now, I walk around this park. I think this is my 4th time. And I used to walk around the same about 7 or 8 times. And I thought, wow, that's a long way, but You go out there where I'm working at now, golly, I'll be looking from one end to the other, and I know I got like 7, 8, 10 doors to hit. I got to scan them, make sure they're locked. But geez, will I ever get done? Will I ever get finished? You know, there's a couple times I was walking and I got like so lethargic, so sleepy. And I guess because I didn't get enough sleep like I should have before I left home. And so I just get so tired and get there and everything. I'm like, I gotta stay awake. Conk out, you know. But anyway, yeah, so the thing about being a Sora Dad, I got a total of 4 characters. Like I said, the one that was a witch, the British Gen X witch, is not really a witch. She uses hypnosis, but it's not the hypnosis that people think. So I just kind of put a spin on the word, because it was all for characters that I made on DeviantArt that I ended up putting on Grok. And instead of it being a negative thing as a witch, trying to control people with hypnotic earmuffs, I made it to something where she uses it to comfort people, because a lot of people like furry stuff and it comforts them. The pressure, the feeling of security, you know, that's what that furry type of stuff does. And the humming of binaural beats and delta waves. So instead of making it like an old ugly witch, you know, or Revolta or whatever, I made it into a person who's naturally and affectionately concerned about people, changing the way they look on things, especially millennials, Gen Zs, and upcoming alphas. You know, even those those Karens that are out there who kind of strayed from a path of Gen Xism and boomers, to making them more of a type of people that, you know, think less about themselves and about others. But I kind of feel like sometimes I kind of get a little too wound up in it, a little too caught up in it, and, you know, and I'm like, wow, I hadn't really done too much on YouTube and TikTok and everything else. So I've been so involved in it. Like every single day I'm trying to come up with new characters and stuff and new ideas and new things. And I get like 25, 30 credits a day. So yeah, it's pretty neat. And how many minutes are we into this? Almost 40 minutes. So anyway, like I said, it's really fun. I really enjoy it. And sometimes the AI will throw curveballs at me. Sometimes it'll get exactly what I want based on what I put on there. It's the same thing with Grok. It's almost like a rocket scientist sometimes. Rocket science. You gotta put the right words in there. Other times you put simple words in there, they come up with exactly what you want. Other times you put simple words in there, they don't come up with what you want. It's a what do you call it? Catch-22. It's a damn if you do, damn if you don't kind of deal. Same with Grok, same with Gemini, same with Sora, same with Meta AI, you know, ChatGPT. It's really cool that we've come to a point now that we can do that, to develop type of things like that. And like I said, some people on there have developed their loved ones, you know, like there's one girl I've seen on there, like, you know, they go to see their mom in heaven. You think to yourself, where in the world did that picture come from? You know? Because usually you don't take pictures of, it doesn't take pictures of real people. You know, it takes pictures of fake things. You can take like a picture of like Scooby-Doo and make it into a real dog. something like that. But I've been pretty impressed with it. Like with most GPTs, I mean not a GPT, but chat things, whatever, AIs. Sometimes it gives you what you want. Sometimes it don't give you what you want. You get like, oh, and then you get frustrated and you start screaming at it, yelling at it. Then it turns out to give you what you want. Then it's like some things you tell it and it don't have a memory of it. You got to tell it specific things to do, and sometimes it don't. And it's like, oh, sorry about that. And maybe if you download a program, it's like, I already did that. I did that already. Don't you have the information? I'm sorry. I do not have that information. I'm not made to store that type of thing or whatever. I'm not made to do that. Like, well, what the hell are you doing? You know, and then it turns out doing something pretty cool. It's like it's just touch and go, man. It's like crazy. But anyway, I think that's enough walking. I'm gonna get in my truck. Probably walk a building and a half as if I was walking at work. Probably the whole length of a building and halfway around. So halfway around the building. I think that's about what I've done. I'm gonna go to my truck now. Get on to the house. Probably walked off that chocolate bar that I ate. Feel it. What I really wanted to do is get out here and start metal detecting again a little bit. And right about now is the right time to do it because it's not really going to be all that cold this week. And it might be the next week after, first of the year, but not this week, I don't think. Not unless something changes. Boy. So, anyway, that's my story. Sticking to it. As far as why I've been off of YouTube for a little while and enjoying Sora. I wish Sora and YouTube would kind of connect up in somehow, some fashion or form. I don't know, maybe that'd be pretty cool. That way you make your videos and stuff and it goes directly to YouTube. If you have a YouTube account, Google. So that'd be pretty cool. You know. Well, anyway. A little bit of sweat going up. That's good. Good sweat, good. Yeah. But I don't know what the weather's going to hold this winter season. I think we're more like getting into the, if we haven't got into it already, I think we're in the winter right now, but but right now I don't feel like winter. It feels like early spring. But hoping it ain't like what it was last year. Not to say that last year was all that bad, but I mean the year before that. People wanting a white Christmas, like, no, not right here, please. Please, not right here. Because I got to be out in it. And the whole thing about this job is, I came home for 2 days a week, 24 hours. And they're working on trying to get me more hours, and they finally did. So it's the first of the year. So I'm kind of wondering who's going to be working the other shifts, but we'll see. So I have to work 12 to 12 on weekends and 4 to 12 on Monday and Tuesday. But that's good though, because I got bills coming up. I really need the money. I've been holding on by a wing and a prayer, boy. I tell you what. 'Cause I don't really know if I'm going to have the money that I need to pay the bills that I need to pay. And my son is always always needing to use money from me. Use my debit card, my credit card. He's in a little pickle. And he probably wouldn't like me saying all that. Get his information out there. But it is what it is. I ain't get no numbers to his card, so that's the only thing that's important. And the things that I experienced growing up, that my mom and dad tried to teach me and my grandparents, that's what I'm trying to show him. But, kids. Anyway, I'm gonna get off here. Y'all, thanks for watching. There's nobody watching now, but thanks for the 4 thumbs up. I appreciate it. God bless. Take care.